Right, so the Dacia is finally due to go out today, and this is the first time I've turned a spanner on it. We're doing a oil and filter change on it, air filter, oil filter change, and then the service history will be fully up to date. I think it was due a service in next month or so. We will be losing a little bit of money on this one. If we add the VAT back in, it might be a break even. But you know, all the time and labour spent on it is lost. Luckily, it's just my labour. I haven't employed anybody else to do anything on it. So, but he's getting a great car for the money. I mean, 2018, 40,000 miles, and you're under $5,000. It should be pretty, you know, hassle-free motoring for him. So anyway, let's get the service signed off and then say goodbye to the Dacia. Bless it. Absolutely nothing wrong with this car. It just made no sense why it didn't sell a lot quicker. But I know to stick to the 4x4 ones in North Devon now. So Petey's whipped the sump back out of that Fiat 500 that we had the leak issue with. Very interestingly, it almost dropped out. The silicone hasn't taken to the sump at all. Something we haven't had before. It bonded to the block fine, but not to the actual sump. It's clean as a whistle. It should have silicone stuck all over it. So there's some contaminant or something on it that stopped this working, and I know somebody else commented they had the same problem last week with the sump they put on a 500. So I wonder, we're going to basically clean this all up and then scuff it this time so it's got a keyed surface ready for the silicone. But yeah, that's what's caused our leak, the fact that the silicone never actually took to it in any area. Strange.
Right guys, let's have a little look at the bids I placed the other day. I can't show you the Mannheim ones and show you how I got on with them because Mannheim doesn't let you know what they went for, but we can have a look at what I've bid on BCA and what it went for. Some of these might be in addition to the ones I showed you in the last video because I added a few more bids in. But we'll go through and see what the score is with these. It's quite a lot here. I haven't won anything, by the way. So just get out of the way. I haven't won anything. I didn't win anything on Mannheim, and I didn't win anything on BCA either. So first up, 2012 VTR 1 litre, sold for £2,000. You're lucky if that's 2,995 on the forecourt, and you've still got fees and transportation and warranty, and hope that it doesn't need repair. A 2009 Corsa, £1,800. So plus fees, delivery, you're in about 2,300, 2,400. Again, I don't think it's more than a 2,995 car if you're doing well. You've got to hope you haven't got to do any repairs to it. 1.2 pop Fiat 500, the least popular model, 2013, went for 255.50. You're up $3,000 by the time you've paid everything on that, and I don't think it's more than £3,500 car. Ford KA 1.2 titanium on a 2011. I bid 1,300. It fell at 1,450, so not miles out on that one. That's probably a 2,795 car. Vauxhall Corsa 1.2 on a 2012. I bid 1,600, went for 1,800. So again, not miles out. Corsas, they just don't sell for high prices. I mean, even on a 2012 with lowest mileage, it's not going to be more than a £3,500 car. Seat Ibiza on a 59 plate, 2,400. That went for. I bid 1,600, so well over my bid. I don't think that's more than a £3,000 car. Hyundai i30 1.6 diesel. I bid 1,100, went for £1,700. Again, 2,795. I think that car. So you got £1,000 for fees, transportation. Fees will be about 200 or 300 quid. Transportation, VAT on the sale of your car. So you're talking £500 odd there already. Then you've got to, do some form of recon it. One would hope. If you make 300 quid out of it, you'll be doing well. Another Hyundai i30 2009. I bid 1,100, went for 1,300. Not miles apart on that. Corsa 1.4 on 2010. I bid 1,700, went for 3,200. I know the miles were low on this. They were very low, but are people really going to be paying you like over 4K for a 2010 Corsa? I don't think so, even with however low the miles are. Another Corsa 1.2 on a 2012. I bid 1,400. It went for 2,300. So again, it's going to have to be 3.5K plus for a 2012 Corsa. A Fiesta on a 2011. I bid 1,900. Went for 2,800. Nearly £3,000 before fees and everything else. Had a cheeky bid on a Saab 180 Aero because I just think they're cool. It's a 2008 car. It had 80,000 miles on it. It was good condition, had a good service history. Someone's bought that for themselves. They've got to have bought it for themselves. Sorry, I've lost you there. They've got to have bought that for themselves because they've paid £2,650 for it. So that's £3,000 with fees. Again, what are you going to get for a 2008 Saab 9.3? Maybe I'm just out of touch with that market. 2007 Peugeot. I had some problems, I thought. I remember that having some problems. Sorry, 2013 Peugeot 107. I remember that having some problems. I only bid £400 on it because it had some serious problems, I think. Engine issues. £1,600. Chrysler Lipson. I always bid on those. I want to win one of these one day, but I'm always very cautious of my bids because I know people aren't going to go out looking for these cars. I bid 400, went for 600 on a 2012. But again, I think that had a rough running engine. It could have just been coil packs because it's the Fiat 1.2. Could have been the ECU. Could have been the engine as a whole. 2013 up. That had over 100k on it. It went for 3,250 with 100k on it. A 1.2 Hyundai i10. You know I always bid on ours. I bid £700 on it. It went for 1150. That is realistically not much more than £2,000, 2,195. So again, by the time everybody's done what they should on that car, if they make £300, they're doing well. I had that random bid on the Chevrolet, didn't I? Bid £400, it went for £800. So fees, delivery, they'll be in £1,300-1,400 in it. There's a bit of money possibly to be made on that if you don't have to do any work to it. Another Fiesta, 2009, 2.7. Or 2009, it went for 2.7. How are you making money out of that car? I don't know. Fiat 1.2 Lounge on a 64 plate went for 4.1. That's a 4,995 car. That is a 4,995 car. How are you making money out of that? I don't know. Unless you literally are washing them and doing no work to them at all. I think we're getting into some older bids here. Another Hyundai i10 Comfort 1.2, £3,400. I think it was an auto, that one. But how much are you going to need to charge for a 2009 i10 if you paid 3,400 for it? Sweet mother of God. Anyway, so I think we're getting into some older bids here. But as you can see, prices are still crazy, guys. Like I say, don't forget, we've gone through this margins thing before. If you're seeing £1,000 on the screen of a car, between these prices and the cars out in a forecourt, you've got 200 to 300 in auction fees. You've got 200 in your VAT charges, so you're about 500. It's going to cost you £100 to get it, whichever way you get it to you. So you're in £600. If you're going to service it, put a warranty on it, you're in £100. So you're down to £300 margin in the car that's going to be on the forecourt for £3,000. Sorry, I don't work off those margins. I can't work off those margins unless I'm selling stupid amounts of cars. And I certainly can't stand by any of my warranties and help people out of these problems on a £300 margin. So, I didn't win anything at all. A lot of people say when you go to private sales, people are asking more money for their private sale cars than they are for the cars here at the auction. They're asking more than dealers are in a lot of cases, and most of the main dealers now won't sell you cars directly. They just send them all out to auction because they're getting these kind of daft auction prices. So it is a tough time to get out of stock, which is why, as a lot of you are saying, a lot of forecourts are empty at the moment.
Okay, so the Dacia's had its last laugh with me. The gentleman came to pick it up. We test drove it yesterday. It was absolutely fine. It's been absolutely fine every other time I've driven it. He got in it. Thanks a lot. Bye. Waved to each other, shake hands, turns the key, comes up with an engine management light. Can you believe it? I'd not seen one of these engine management lights before. It was different. It was almost like a rear heated screen image, but it's a Renault software, isn't it? So that's the way they do it. Anyway, so I plugged it in, and I have to admit I used Stuart's new launch system, and I wasn't familiar with it. It took forever to run the codes, and it came up with a oxygen sensor fault post-cat. But it did say history by it, but I didn't know if it meant store that as history, so I assumed that was what the current fault was. I thought moving it short distances back and forth, perhaps it would clog the sensor up, or there was a voltage spike or something that did some damage to it. I don't know. I assumed that that's what was wrong with it, because the only thing I'd done is obviously do the oil and filter change in the morning. Anyway, so I got Stuart to check it out, and he plugged it in, and he looked at it and says that basically on those launch ones, history means that it was a previous fault code. It wasn't for me to store it in history, so he thinks that code was was an old one, because he actually read the readings off the sensor, and it was actually, there was voltages and all that kind of stuff. But interestingly, he thought, okay, let's go and reset the service light indicator for the oil change, because we've just done an oil change. And it turns out that when he did that, the light went out. And what he said is that basically the way those things decide the quality of the oil is purely how many times you've turned the key in the ignition. It tells you what the quality of the oil is. And it just happens to be sod's law that because we've moved it back and forth quite a few times doing work on it, that at the moment the customer turned the key to leave, it came up with what was an oil quality warning light. Can you believe this stuff? These cars, they really do test your patience. So he cleared that code, restarted the car again, no warning light. We drove it round and round and round, no warning light. And the customer's now driven off in it, but the little bugger decided to throw one last curveball at me before it left. And it did have me worried, because obviously, bless the customer, cops in his car, first thing he gets is a warning light. Little blighter. So the Alpha's also testing this today, because despite having put that pressure sensor in it, and like I said, when I took it out, it did boost really, really well. But I drove it home at night when I could just thrash it through the back lanes, and hadn't noticed that when you actually got into town the following day, in between traffic lights, it was pretty dead under 2,500 revs. So something's preventing the turbo from kicking in early enough. So we're trying to work out what the score is with that now, and we think it's related to the actuator rod here. We've got to try a few things on that and see if we can get it performing, because it drives perfectly. Other than that, it's just like, say, below 2,500 it's dead. So something, we think the rod might not be set, it might need adjusting in some way to give it full opening, closing in the right time frame.
So let's have a look at the final numbers on the Dacia then. So I bought that car back in April from Mannheim, and I thought I got a deal because it was £4,372 for the car, and the book told me it was worth 5,700. So I thought, great, 2018 car, 40,000 miles, I'm not going to have to do a lot of work to it, which I didn't. You know, I've serviced it, done a few bits and bobs like that, and I haven't really done a lot to it at all. The biggest cost has been the repeated adverts on Auto Trader. So I started at 5,795, tried 5,495, 5,295, and in the end I settled at 4,995, and that's the point the car sold at. But I ended up spending £231 on Auto Trader marketing the car. So again, a lot of people see these screen prices of cars on a forecourt. Oh, I part exchanged it, it's got £1,000 on it. This is how quickly the money can disappear, guys. It took this many runs on Auto Trader, and Auto Trader recommended 5,795 as the retail price, but we got no interest at that price at all. I MOT'd it, I serviced it, I bought a warranty-wise cover for it. I mean, again, I probably could have done without that, because the odds on are the car is going to be problematic, and being so new, although it did throw that little curveball to us before it left the car park, didn't it? I could have just self-warranted it, which would have saved me £96. But here's the kicker. So the total costs are £4,934. Sold it for £4,995, but the VAT man still sees a £623 margin. So to explain again, the car dealer, you pay VAT on the gross profit of the sale of the car. So as far as the VAT man's concerned, I bought for £4,300, I sold for £4,995, I made £623. So it says I'll have some VAT, please. So I've still got to pay £103 VAT on the Dacia, despite the fact that the actual true profit after the VAT man is £42, minus £42.91. The only thing that brings it back into profit at all is the fact that I can reclaim £87 in VAT back from the parts I bought. So our grand total for the Dacia, profit-wise, is £44.10 for having it in stock for that long a time. I've lost money on that, because the amount of times I cleaned the thing, I've probably lost money on it. Time-wise, obviously I'm massively in the minus time-wise on it, with viewings and cleaning and so forth. And the mad thing about it is, fantastic car. Fantastic car. Absolutely specced out, really good condition, full dealer main history, one owner from new. This should be the car, 2018, so no work on it. These are the cars that everyone told me would make me the money, the ones that would cause me less hassle, and that has been a net result of it. So am I going to dip my toe in newer cars. I don't know, Fiat 500s maybe, but I'm not sure I'm going to be delving out of it. Was it the wrong type of Dacia? I know around here people do like the 4x4 ones. I've not had a problem selling those, but the ones I've sold have been sub £3,000 and they've flown out the door. This end of the market is just so slow. So, interesting one. Comment down below. What do you think killed this car? What do you think was the problem with it? Like I say, cracking car. Subscribers bought it. They've got a brilliant deal on a great car. It's just, why didn't it work for me? Perhaps it's my premises, the way, I don't know. Anyway, that's a big fat on that car. But again, I'm all about, guys, showing you the realistic end of the market. And if you go on Auto Trader, these cars are up for that price with the main dealers and so forth. I don't know how long they're prepared to sit on them, and whether, if you sold an extended warranty on this, if you sold gap insurance and some bodywork protection or something like that, you could probably add another, if you financed it, you'd easily be able to add another £500 or £600 to it, but obviously I don't do those things. So there you go. And there's obviously also the chance that I'll see the car again. Hopefully warranty-wise will pay out for any issues, but if they don't, then I might be looking to carry the can on it.